Hello, this is OldCrowBalthazor. Welcome to Balthazor Strategic Arcana. So I'm happy to announce that I have a new multiplayer match with my old sparring partner, Tanaka. We're going to be playing the Iwo Jima scenario that comes with Strategic Command, World War II, War in the Pacific. Yes, a new Strategic Command game. Let's go take a look. So I'm going to go do a brief overview of the map and the situation. I'll have the Fog of War off for the moment and then we'll put it on. I am going to be playing the United States. Tanaka's going to be playing the Japanese. I can already, this is going to come up really quick. We're producing it right now and it is freaking hardcore, man. It is Iwo Jima. All right. So we'll do the opener. Now I'm not going to do any moves or anything like that, but I'm going to show you first the American point of view. Okay, we got an intelligence hit. We can, oh, listen. Oh, the clock is ticking and the heart is beating. I'll read this. Allied forces have advanced across the Pacific and into positions along the Luzon-Marianas line. Between Marianas-based B-29s and our targets in Japan lies the island of Iwo Jima, an island with a number of strategically important air bases that the U.S. Army Air Force could take advantage of. The Japanese have recognized this and prepared a formidable defense. They have dug a network of underground tunnels and fortified all positions around Mount Suribachi and the Motoyama Plateau. The beaches are covered by a large artillery force, placed in rough terrain and fortified. Our forces have to quickly move across the island, destroying Japanese units, protecting the villages and airfields. Only with the capture of each village and airfield can we win. Okay, now I'm not going to be moving anything. My first episode, you'll see what I do, but let's go out. So here's Iwo Jima. Now this actually isn't here. This is for game mechanic reasons for supply. So let's go take a look. All right, so this is the fifth Marine Division. This is the 4th Marine Division. This is the 3rd. We got carriers here. We have battleships. Let's go zoom in and see what the situation is here. Here is Mount Suribachi. Now, I'm going to turn Fog of War off in a little bit, but I'm going to show you what we can see at the moment. Now, of course, with the planes, they got a long range here, so we can cover the island. We can get in close, but we not necessarily want to do that. These also can shell pretty much across the island. You do have to be careful though, because the whole island is bristling with fixed artillery, coastal guns, heavy artillery. They all have a range of 10. There's even rocket artillery, which we'll see in a second. They're coming into the beach, so you could theoretically go around, but the whole thing is to try to get to the secondary supply here. And now you're going to get raked, man. We're going to be here, the Black Sands here. Totally exposed, and we're going to get raked from this direction with artillery fire. And this is the thing. The artillery, it can do counter battery fire on each other. So it is doubly lethal. There's that. So what the forces are composed of, and I'm using NATO. We can take a look at, I'm going to be using NATO in the campaign. Can we? Yes, we can. Okay, we'll do that. Let's see what it looks like. I prefer NATO for World War I and on. But those look pretty damn good, don't they? So, anyway. So we can we'll go back and forth. So anyway, it's crucial to know what units you got. So here's a HQ here, Rocky. And there's infantry, and there's tanks, and there's artillery. So basically, we're going to probably just land traditionally like they did here and not do anything wild. So this is a second wave. So there's that. Let's go take a look. Let's turn off the Fog of War and just see how it's bristling. Look at that. Oh, God. So he has mobile units. So these units are fixed. That's anti-tank. So here's our objectives right here, and this is a neat feature right here that including the Pacific War, and I believe that in the future it's going to be in the other SC games. What else other feature? Oh, another feature here. This is really quality of life. My friend Similacro from France, who was my beta test partner in Mariana's campaign, which there is AAR in the Matrix forum. It was epic. He came up with this idea here, so you know how many turns you got left, which is pretty cool. 24 turns. Because otherwise you'd have to go out and go to the strategy guide or open up a game to find out how many turns you had. Each turn is 2 days. I'm going to go switch back to NATO for a little bit. I use NATO because I've been playing these kind of war games since 1973. I was 72. I was 13 years old, man. So I'm old. I'm getting old. I don't look old. Trust me. I'm vain. I look like I'm in my 40s, maybe 50s, but I am feeling it though. But anyway, I played these games for so long, I instantaneously know NATO, and then I also had to use the symbols professionally in the past. Had nothing to do with wargaming. So that's how we'd use them. They can get pretty complex, especially when you got smaller units, specialized units, stuff like that. But anyway, there's a lot of art to it. There's also anti-air here. So that's what we're going to be looking at here. But this is particularly devilish right here. So we're going to have to be really careful. We're going to have to bring our HQs in. There's 4 total. I think 3rd Marine Division has 2. Let's see here. Yeah, Smith. Here's Field Artillery. Yeah, Erskine. We do have 1 heavy artillery unit. Now, we get a fixed amount of money, so we can get degraded pretty bad. And as units start getting hurt, I'm going to have to pull them offline or reinforce them. So anyway, that is what we got facing. So it's small and it's lethal, right? Small package, big boom. Yeah. So it's going to be exciting, and Tanaka and I are starting to do this. The turns are going to go up daily, and it's going to air on Monday, July 22nd, so just in a few days. I think at 1 p.m. Pacific, I'm almost certain that's what we're going to do. And so we're going to conduct this campaign, so 24 turns. We'll see if we can defeat them. We're going to have to probably kill them all. Anyway, so I'm going to go over to the strategy guide, and you'll see that in a second. All right, see you in a bit. Okay, here's 1945 Iwo Jima strategy guide by Robert Carver. Iwo Jima was probably the most iconic of battles in the Pacific during World War II. It might not have even had a counterpart in the European theater. Within the battle, there was a moment like no other, the flag raising on Mount Suribachi. Some say the Marines on Iwo Jima just happened to have a great spokesman and photographer that day, but the event ended up symbolizing both an American struggle and an achievement that seemed impossible only 3 years prior. Yeah, that is an iconic photo. While General MacArthur landed on Luzon in the Philippine Islands, and American chiefs planned invasion of Ryukyus, which is Okinawa, the U.S. Army Air Corps proposed the capture of Iwo Jima with its airfield as the ideal location from where U.S. fighter groups could escort the B-29s now flying out of the more southerly Mariana Islands. That'd be like Tinian and Guam, Saipan. Iwo Jima was much closer to Japan and not only offered the opportunity to escort the heavy bombers, but to provide an emergency landing site for damaged B-29s. Yeah, I'm sure that the garrison in Iwo Jima was watching the bombers fly over towards Japan and back. And I bet a lot of those flyers were looking down, hoping, if they were damaged, wish they could land there. When the Marines hit the beach on February 19, 1945, the initial waves found silence that did not last long. While Marine supplies and equipment piled up on the beach, Japanese gunners waited until the beach was full. When the Japanese artillery fire started, Marines were exposed. The U.S. Navy countered with their big guns, but the Marines took a heavy toll. Slight spoiler, exact same thing happens with my match with Tanaka. How the game starts. The game starts with the Marines approaching land sites on the eastern beaches. Once they land, American players should expect the Japanese artillery and rocket units to start firing during the turns as well as during American turns, since Japanese defense fire will cause significant unit point losses as the Marines attempt to take out the pillboxes protecting the first airfield. Yeah, a rain of steel, man. What really happened, historically, the Americans were victorious. However, the Japanese commander made it very difficult. His troops were well prepared and in fortified positions connected by tunnels that somewhat neutralized American firepower. Forcing the Marines to move inland and fight for every position, the cost was horrendous for both sides. There were more than 26,000 American casualties. An entire Japanese garrison, some 20,000 personnel were killed. Only 216 prisoners were taken. This was the only battle in the Pacific where the Americans took more casualties than the Japanese. And I would say of the 216 prisoners, a lot of them probably were unconscious or severely wounded. In-game modifications. There was no production. Rather, units are limited by force pool quantities and what has already been deployed in the production queue. The Japanese have enhanced fortification levels, and yes, I have experienced it. Japanese tank is immobile and placed in a fortification. The American tank units have additional detrenchment capability and increased attack values. The American escort carrier units have naval weaponry versus submarines warfare. Okay. Also, the Japanese have anti-tank guns which are fixed, and they're heavily entrenched. Alright. Unit size, regiment, battalion, air group, squadron level. For the most part, 2 aircraft carriers or battleships make up 1 unit. 4 light aircraft carriers for CBL. Heavier light cruisers make up 1 unit. 10 destroyers make up 1 unit. Victory conditions. A player wins by holding or capturing islands, airfields, villages, and Mount Suribachi. USA must control all airfields, villages, and Mount Suribachi to win. And Mount Suribachi, the whole end of the island is one fortress. Caves, and you gotta climb up it. Yeah, see, must control at least 1 airfield. Okay, Japan must control at least 1 airfield or village to win. All victory hexes are marked with a red star. The red star indicates a hex must be held until the end of the game. This is a nice feature that we have in the War in the Pacific, so you can find them easy on the map. And I've seen this image before. And the map, you can buy this map. I saw it for sale, a print version, and framed and everything. It was pretty cool looking. What to expect? The victory conditions necessitate that every inch of the island must be contested, as Americans must control all airfields and towns, while the Japanese only have to control one of these locations. Won't be a problem for the Japanese to make their initial amphibious landing. Rather, Americans will have difficulty moving through Japanese defenses, not knowing when or if the Japanese will launch a bonsai attack or infiltrate behind their lines. The Japanese are well dug in, and this is reflected in the game. The entrenchment values have been modified to give the Japanese considerable defensive advantage. The Marines will have to concentrate their fires to reduce the high entrenchment values before they can even start to degrade and then eliminate each Japanese unit. It is hardcore, man. The Marines will have to turn south from the first airfield and face Mount Suribachi. The terrain is mountainous and completely fortified by Japanese headquarters, a secondary supply source, and a number of artillery units. As Marine units move through the mountain hexes, their supply will start to degrade. It will become necessary to place American headquarters units close to the advancing unit, exposing any headquarters of Japanese artillery. Only taking Mount Suribachi in the first airfield will not meet the U.S. victory conditions, so the American player will have to clear the rest of the island. More pillboxes with supporting Japanese artillery are ensconced in fortresses throughout the island. The Japanese do have a few maneuverable infantry units, and if a player skillfully uses these forces, they could cause the Americans some delays. To model extensive tunnels on Iwo Jima, partisan units have been modified to represent Japanese units that manage to get behind the American lines. Yeah. And that is it. So, yeah. Can't wait for you guys to watch this epic show. Me and Tanaka are producing it right now. And it's going to be up shortly on YouTube. Okay, we'll see you guys later on the virtual battlefields. It's OldCrowBalthazor, and I am gone. Gone, I say.